Hey, it's Heather here. For anybody that's a newcomer or sees this as a first video of mine or whatever, welcome. You can comment, share, like, or subscribe. Um, but yeah, I just get on here and vlog and talk about things that I'm going through and stuff. So yesterday's video, I was obviously having a very bad day. That's what I labeled it too. Very bad day. And today I'm having a much better day. So that's good. That's always a positive. Oh, Lord, I was so angry yesterday and even the day before, kinda, the night and everything. And it's like today, it's like I just, it's like you have to learn, and kind of stand your ground on the things that you believe in and stuff. And you've got to have confidence in yourself, even if nobody else has confidence in you. And you've got like a lot of stuff to do. And yeah, but anyways, today's been a lot better day. I hope it stays this way. I hope I can stay positive, and that's one thing too, like about my newer videos, you'll notice that I'm sitting in front of these lovely doors here, if you will. Because, yeah, I just think it looks a little bit better than the background of the curtains and me walking around and shit and everything. Even though I might start back doing that because I don't know. It's like you do something and you'll be like, oh, that's not good enough, or it's not up to par, it makes me feel bad, or whatever, it's not as professional or as good as I would like, and all that. And so then you're like, okay, is there any adjustments that I'm willing to do that I feel comfortable doing right now and stuff like that? And it's like whenever I first started doing this, I was like, I'm going to keep it real, and I'm going to tell everything, and stuff like that. And even though I still do, I get on here and talk about my emotions and the shit that I'm feeling, I don't go into detail as much as I have been and everything. Because, I mean, in all honesty, let's face it, nobody really, I don't want to say nobody cares, but nobody is concerned too much with my details as they are their own details. And so it's just more like, kind of pull back and focus more on commonality and stuff like that and everything. But yeah, today's been a better day and stuff. Actually found out that whenever I went to bed this morning, there was an earthquake apparently, or at least that's what I read. And I was like, really? That's when I went to sleep. And I was like, that's just kind of weird, but it is what it is. But it wasn't bad or whatever. But it was just like, it's like, okay. And if you never seen one of my videos, I usually wake up late, go to bed really late, stuff like that, because I used to work third shift. And even though I've thought about trying to get myself out of the routine, I'm not in a position to be forcing myself to do a lot of things that I don't want to do. And that's even kind of sitting in front of these doors of my entertainment center, where used to I would like sit on my couch and just whatever and talk about things and stuff. It's like I'm trying to be, I looked and I criticized myself, and I criticized myself, but not harshly, because it was my criticism instead of. Now, I know that other people may have, and stuff, but I was just like, I don't really like the way that looks. I think I'm going to change it. And so I have. And then there's been days, though, that I'm like, but I was more comfortable that way, kind of. But then, it's stepping outside of your comfort zone, even if it's like little baby steps. And then ever since I've been sitting in front of the doors and stuff, it's like, should I keep doing it? Am I being real? Am I being true to me? And it's like, yes, I am, and it's like, so some days I'm like, do I really want to sit there? Because I sit on the floor in front of my entertainment center and make videos now. But so far I don't mind. So far I hadn't went back. It's just been thoughts kind of running around in my head. Yesterday, last night especially, was like a very caught up in like suicidal thought type process going on, because literally yesterday was just a headache is the best way to word it. It was just a headache. It was like one of those days where stuff just continually goes wrong. And then I read a bunch of things, and that's one thing that I adore. Like, if you've watched my videos before, you'll see that I talk about my kid, and my parents took temporary custody of her, and it's my only kid, and she's 12. And one reason we were having so many problems is because she honestly was not used to me working. She was used to me being a stay-at-home mom and always being able to be wrapped up in her. What she needed, what she wanted, do it for her, tend to her, and everything like that. And so it was hard on her to adjust and be like, no, I can't be that wrapped up in you because I'm tired because I work now. And it's like she couldn't process that. She couldn't process how tired I was. And I don't know. But anyways, with her being gone, instead of me moping around about it and everything, even though, yes, I get sad, and Lord, do I miss her. I miss her uncontrollably. But instead of doing that, I'm trying to, find the silver lining, of the whole situation. And the silver lining is that, and especially since I'm out of work, I have more time to like read up on things that I believe are going to help me and that have helped me and that do keep helping me. I'm able to look up articles and take the time to actually read them, let it sink in, the information and stuff. And so today there was an article that popped up about emotional bullying. And I was like, oh my goodness, excuse me. But I was like, oh my goodness. I was like, that's exactly what I'm going through with everybody. Everybody I know emotionally bullies me on some level or another. Not every single person, but 99.99% of them have. And half of them don't even realize it. And then the other half of them that do realize it, they try to act coy about it, or whatever. They try to, act like they don't know that they're doing it, even though they do, and it's like, you're being an asshole. Would you just stop? And then I understand that everybody has to do their own emotional growth and stuff and everything. And so I think that's like a good thing to kind of just, put off, if you will, and just be like, everybody just kind of needs to work on themselves and stuff. Yeah, you can help people, you can try to point them in the right direction, but sometimes they need to find their own direction, their own path, and that has been a big thing for me. I've always had people pointing the way for me to go this way, that way, and even little side comments, and like, there was this woman that I seen today that, she visits my neighbor or whatever, and, I told her that whenever, I told her, like, what was it? I said, when I move, well, I was talking to her, I said, when I move, I'm gonna put everything where I want it in my new place. And it's gonna be all my place, except for, my kid's room. My kid can put her room together however she wants, but all the rest of the house is going to be put together the way that I want, not the way that me and my daughter want, but just the way that I want. And so that way it's like independence, and you have your independence and stuff like that and everything. And whenever I said that, she said, oh, well, I hope you don't move anytime soon. And I just thought to myself, okay, and all that's nice. And then I thought, but she ought to know, the situation. And then I thought to myself, not in a hateful way, but kind of like, I don't care for her opinion. Just numb. And that's the best way that you kind of can deal with emotional bullying, is just to become numb. Like, just, oh, you think, and that was not even a form of emotional bullying, but it was just a this is how I want things to go. And typically, when somebody would say, this is how I want you to do things, I would be like, oh my God, that's the way I need to do it. Like in the back of my head, even if I wouldn't follow through with it, I thought, oh, I didn't do it, oh, bad person. And it's like now I'm learning to listen to people, but not only just like, I listened to them before, obviously, but it's like I gradually kind of went back to where I need to be. It's like I went from, oh God, I need to do it. Oh God, I need to listen to them. Oh God. And then it was like, wait, I don't have to listen to them. I can take into consideration what they say and think about it. And the more I've sat here and thought about it, it's like, that's not right for me. That's not working for me. That's not me. Oh my God, wait, that's not me. What am I going to do? Fuck what people tell me they think I should do. Yes, I can be kind and polite and take it into consideration, but at the end of the day, I need to do what I want to do, and I need to weigh my options and and take into account my responsibilities and stuff like that. But other than that, it's like, whatever. It's like, okay, it's like, I need to do what I need to do. Sorry, I'm looking at this thing of my daughter's. It's got little stamps on the back. But, anyways. But today has been a lot better day than it was yesterday. And that's the thing, too. Like, I got on yesterday's video and I was like, I'm not going to complain in detail about the things that happened to me. And I believe that did me a lot better than if I would have. If I would have got on here and complained in detail, I believe that would have made things just worse all around and stuff. But I've read 2 articles in the past 24 hours, and I'm just like, and like, it's good to think on, And like I said, I was very suicidal yesterday and everything, like in my thoughts, I was like, yep, I'm gonna do it, or no, I'm not, but yes, I am, but no, I'm not, but yes, I am, because I'm tired. And I watched this TED Talk or whatever, and this guy, I cried when he said this. It was a police officer, and he was talking about, I don't know which bridge it was. I don't know if it was the Golden Gate Bridge, but anyways, he was talking about the bridge and, like, people jumping off of it, and that he was a police officer, and they'd been successful with a few people and not with others, And, so he was talking about that and everything, and he literally hit the nail on the head, like, so firm and everything, and I was like, he gets it. And even though he was just saying it like a factual based, and he didn't seem very emotional in it, but he may have been, I couldn't tell. Just the fact that he could say it, and it's a fact, and I was just like, oh my God, he's a genius, because there's so many people that cannot even grasp this fact. And the fact is that he stated in the TED Talk in the video is there's only so many ways to escape from your depression. Sleep, alcoholism or drugs, so, medicating yourself, if you will, and then death. Because depression is emotional pain. It's pain. And sometimes it's fucking crippling as hell. Sometimes you literally feel like you're in hell because it's so crippling. And so your only options are to sleep so you can escape the pain. And this is any pain. This is any pain, in all honesty. To sleep, to escape the pain. to medicate, do drugs to escape the pain, or to end your life to escape the pain. And I mean, I cried when he said that. And I've actually watched this TED Talk like 5-6 times in the past 15 years or whatever, or however long it's been up. But I was just like I was so stressed out yesterday that whenever I seen that and I seen him say that, I was just like, he gets it. He's so smart. Genius, man. I was like, he gets it. And it's like, that's what people don't get about depression, is it is like walking around with an open wound and asking for no one to bother it. Like, if somebody took a chunk out of my leg, or if you've watched my previous videos, you'll see how I actually busted my left ankle. I don't know what the fuck I did to it. It's bigger around than the other one, and it's all fucked up and shit. And it hurts, and it's making my femur bone and my leg hurt. And it's making my hip even hurt now. Because I've not been to the doctor for it. Oh my god. That's another thing too, is going to the doctor for shit. We need, like my child's generation, every damn one of those children need to be taught in school right now. Or, they need to be taught in school right now. It needs to be like, the year she was born, take that year, and she's still young enough, and switch their academics over to nothing except for them being able to be a fucking doctor. So that way being doctors becomes so common that we have enough for all the people that we have that need tending to and taking care of. Because it's ridiculous. Lord, is it? That's the reason, it costs so damn much and everything. I mean, that's like anything. If you have enough of something, the costs are going to kind of scale back, and everything. It's not going to be like, oh, it's more because it's rare. It's going to be like, oh, it's less because it's less, it's common, But anyways. Oh my god. But, it's like, I can't quit yawning. But I got a busted ankle, and it's like going in and, trying to hide it. You try to hide it. You try to hide that your ankle's busted. You try to hide that your leg's hurting. You go into work anyways, and you just keep on working. And you just keep on working. That's all that you do. You just keep on, You're like, oh, I got to, and you just keep on. And then one day somebody notices that you're kind of limping, or they notice that you're irritable, and they're like, why are you irritable? And you tell them, my leg's hurting, my ankle's hurting. And then they tell people, and then it becomes a thing for them to talk about and be like, oh, yeah, she said her ankle's hurting. And then it becomes the emotional abuse. Either way, it don't matter if it's an actual wound or not. So like I said at the beginning, it could be a fucking hole in my leg, And even though people could see, a sinkhole through my pants, because there's a chunk of my fucking leg missing, if you will, as an example. And somebody's like, hey, I've been wondering, I see that, your leg don't look normal up under your pant leg, and you tell them, oh, well, it's because, I had this happen or whatever. And then they go and they run and tell everybody. That is the biggest, fucking flaw in human nature right about now, is they all run and tell everybody. And then because of that, it's like, oh, well, do you believe that? Oh, well, I don't think that's real. Oh, I don't think that's how that really happened. And all these opinions come into form. And then it stems, and it just becomes this big fucking wrecking ball of emotional abuse because of other people's opinions. And that makes me really depressed, because like in last night's video, I was like, I hope the end of the world comes before the new year. Like, that's what I said, and then I'll be damned, I went to bed last night and I found out this morning that when I went to bed last night there was an earthquake, and I'm just like, well, like, okay, and I mean, if the world doesn't get better, if it doesn't try to get better, I don't know what type of situation we're going to end up finding ourselves in. I really don't. But, so anyways, I read, an article on emotional abuse, and it was and emotional bullying. And it was talking about how people emotionally bully each other. And that's the reason I want to move, is because I've been emotionally bullied by my landlord and by the maintenance people here. And I've been emotionally bullied, like I said, by about 99.999% of the people that I've ever come into contact with. And then I was emotionally abused and neglected as a child. And then, people are like, why are you the way that you are? And it's like, okay, well, I've been through this abuse, that abuse, that abuse, And then that becomes something. Any piece of information that you give out to anybody becomes this whole bullshit of them to be able to think that they can criticize it. They can't take a fact unless it's in their best interest. Like, I can sit here and I can be like, factually, from where I'm standing, and see, it's where I'm standing. But when somebody comes, into your home and tells you that your home stinks, tells you that you need to clean your home, tells you that, they liked your home when it looked the same, literally, looked the same or even worse, and then when you first got to know them and you would let them come in and you would apologize, you'd say, oh, I'm sorry that there's dog hair everywhere, I'm sorry I haven't vacuumed today, and they'd say, oh, don't worry about it, I know what it's like. And then years later that turns into, oh my God, have you ever heard of getting a broom or a vacuum and, getting the hair up? And granted, they didn't say that, but they might as well have, because it's like, oh, your house is filthy. And then to have them tell you, like something very insulting, very degrading in my mind. The most degrading thing was, that you've stopped cleaning. You've stopped cleaning. That's their opinion, is that you've stopped cleaning. And they want to say that they said, you've stopped cleaning because you're working thirds. I'm working a job to pay you the money that I owe you for living here. If that's what you said. That's not what I heard. I heard you say, you've stopped cleaning since your daughter's not home. Then, to have you complain about the floor whenever you come in, and you know that the porch floods, and has flooded, since I've been living here. So therefore, there's like a quarter inch of water on the porch. Now, it's not as bad since the porch has been worked on over the years, but there used to be like a quarter inch or an eighth of an inch of water just sitting on the porch every fucking time it rained. I have 3 dogs that go in and out to piss and shit. So 3 times, but not 3 times, no. I have to walk them at least twice a day, if not 3 times a day. So there's 6 times or 9 times going in and out of the door. Then I have a daughter, okay? My daughter, when she was home, that kid was in and out of that door 2 and 3 damn times, right? The door is not lifted enough to put a rug to protect the floor to absorb the moisture, okay? So there's no rug on the inside of the door. There's no rug on the outside of the door. The rug on the outside of the door, because it's on the porch where the 4th or the 8th inch of water sets, gets soaked. I've thrown away 2 damn rugs because of it. It gets soaked. It's useless. You can't put one on the inside. You can't. It's not going to do a bit of good. So, you just go in and out your door like you need to. And I get told to look at the floor in front of the door, and that the floor is ruined there. And why is it ruined there? And it must be where dog pee has set. And I correct and say, no, it's where we come in and out when it's raining. And I am told, well, have you ever heard of drying it up? And I respond, yes, I have. And I did. But this is 4 years I've been living here. After 4 years, it don't do any good. And then it's laminate flooring, so it's like taking a piece of cardboard to a degree. To a degree. If you take a piece of cardboard and you sprinkle water on it occasionally, or soak it in water from time to time for 4 fucking years, shit's gonna degrade. Anyways, and so in that, and in a bunch of other things, that is just emotional bullying. And that is my life, and that is the gist of everything. And that's the gist of everybody's life. And that's the reason more people are being like, oh, I'm depressed. Is because the emotional bullying that's going on. And that's even like my neighbor that I had a falling out with. I met her, and she's like, oh, hi, and this and that, and, I really didn't like the place when I moved in. It wasn't as good as what I thought I was going to be getting, but for the price, it's okay. So right there opens a door, right, for me to be like, oh, well, the landlord, So we're sitting and talking, and I'm like, yeah, she has her ways, and like the faces that she makes sometimes whenever she comes in, like whenever she's seen how many decorations I hung up, and she's like, oh, you like pictures on every wall, don't you? It doesn't say in the lease that I cannot have pictures on every wall. It says that they are to be hung with picture hangers. And so they were. That's all it says. It doesn't say how many I can have or how many I can't have. And so these little jabs, and so I'm talking to this new person about it, and they're like, oh yeah, I've noticed because she does the same to me. So we're sitting there, we're all buddy-buddy, right? Anything I say, she's like, oh yeah, me too. So then I have a falling out with the maintenance people and the landlord, and I'm just like, you know what? I've had it. I'm going to stand up for myself. So I tell her I'm done, and whenever my lease is up, I'm gone. But I said I'm gone, God willing. Kind of leaving it open, kind of putting it in God's hands. And she says, oh, well, I'll take that as your notice that you're going to vacate the premises, whenever your lease is up. Okay. Just like, that's all you can do whenever you have somebody say something to you that you're like, really? You don't even, nothing. Okay. It's this numb, whatever type thing. So anyways, when I have the falling out with the maintenance people, this woman has also said some things about the maintenance people. And so I bring it to the maintenance people's, attention. Like, hey, I'm not the only one that thinks this. So then they get a hold of the neighbor, and they're like, hey, did you say that? And she's like, no, I never said anything like that. Then, because this neighbor knows that I've lost custody of my child to my parents, they took temporary custody of her. and knows that I was recommended to go to a counselor, and knows that I did go to the counselor, and knows that I was diagnosed as having depression, this woman, this neighbor, writes me and says to me, I don't know why you would say that I said something like that. I can't believe you said that about me. That just shows that you really do have some problems. You took my depression and you twisted it against me. You're trying to call depression and lying the same thing. And I'm supposed to be okay with that? I lost custody of my daughter, temporary custody of my daughter, to them when we went to court because I told the truth. Do not call me a liar unless I am lying. And concluding, I'm going to tell the truth in court and know that if I tell it, I'm risking my child having to stay with my parents at this moment in time. If I'm going to risk that because I'm so honest, why the fuck would I need to lie about little piddly shit from somebody that I've only known for 2 months versus my child that my body and her father's body created with the help of God, that I carried in my womb for 9 months, that I breastfed for 2.5 years, that I had to hold screaming in my arms when she was 2 years old. Yeah, she was 2 years old. So she could get the back of her head where she fell and hit it on the corner of the nightstand. And it caused a gash. So she had to get internal stitches and then external staples. And she's screaming, and they're telling me she's not in pain. She's just scared because the way it feels. And my heart is literally breaking as I'm holding her to me. Because I wish to God it wouldn't have happened and that she would have never, fell and hit her head. My baby that I drove to school her first, few days in kindergarten. Because I had a learner's. Didn't have a license, but I had my learner's. My mom slept over on the couch so that way I could drive my daughter to school. Kindergarten. First time going to school. She didn't go to pre-K. My child, who I would literally give anything for. And I'm going to tell the truth, knowing with the way the world works, what I'm risking. But I'm going to lie over you, over something dealing with you, and I've only known you two months. People can believe what they want to believe. And that's the type of skin that we all need to have, in all honesty. People can believe what they want to believe about you, and you can tastefully and with tact move on. Let them think it. And maybe we can get to the point where we learn to shut the fuck up and stop causing emotional trauma to each other through emotional bullying and lies. That's one thing that I have seen. I have seen in my 30 years how when I was a kid in school, people were less about gossiping and shit talking. And well, I don't think they were so much less about that than they are now. And used to, my brain was like, oh, but that's because we're adults. No. It's not that it gets worse because you're adults. Because I have a child, and I've seen my child come home and stressed out and depressed and crying because she's being emotionally bullied. Worse than I ever was. And why? Because social media. Because something happened. And this is what happened in all honesty. Let's see. How can I word it? You're 70, you're 60, you're 50, you're 40. You're 30, you're 20, you're even 10, right? Don't matter what age you are. But you're one of those people that your life is not as good as you want it to be. And you think you're the only one. You think your problems are worse than everybody else's. Even if you hold it inside, you hold inside that you were abused or anything, you hold it inside. Or even if you talk about it. Even me, I talk about it and I'm like, people don't get it. And it's not really that people don't get it, it's that people don't care. That is what has been lost from my papa's generation, or even, maybe not even his generation cared that much, but especially my great-grandmother's generation. That woman cared. From that generation to all these other generations. Care. Out the window. Nobody cares. So nobody cares about you, right? And you're thinking, I'm never going to be popular. I'm never going to be on top unless I fight to get on top. Unless I fight to stay on top once I'm on top. Sacrificing people's souls and dignity and whatever left and right. Using them as stepping stones. Using their crushed bones under my feet as a rug to walk upon. Right? So you're thinking, yeah, because you love that feeling of being on top. And this is where my spirituality and shit kind of kicks in to a degree. I believe in God. And you are ignorant as fuck if you think you're ever going to be on top. Yeah, you can be superior in certain things. Superior in emotional kindness. Superior in intellect. Superior in singing talent. Superior in house cleaning. Superior in raising children. Superior in this and that and that and this. And back and forth. You can be better than other people at things. But that desire and drive that is so narcissistic and greedily set in you, you are so ignorant thinking that that comes from God. That does not come from God. It does on one hand because we are made in His image. God thinks He's the best. God knows He's the best. So we're all supposed to walk around, I know I'm the best. I think I'm the best, right? Because we are made in God's image. But what happened between God and Satan? I'm the best, says Satan. I'm the best. I'm better than you. I'm going to show you I'm better than you. And look at where Satan wound up. We are not going to beat God. So we all need to fucking grow the hell up and humble ourselves and realize that. And stop trying to step on each other, because at the end of the day, we're all going to realize that we're exactly alike. We all have one thing or certain things or whatever that we are superior in from the other. But then we all have things that we are fucked up and tore up about. It's like I'm tired of walking around people that want to have their chests puffed up, all the time. Like, it makes me, honestly, I don't smoke weed. I haven't picked up a joint since I was 15. And then I only did it that once. But because of the idiots, I don't know if there's a word like idiocism, I don't know. But because of the idiocity, there you go, and the ignorance of the rest of my fellow brothers not catching on to this, and me trying all this time to find a way to get it out there. And if I do this to somebody sitting down with them, they're just going to puff that chest out and be like, oh this and oh that, they're going to be like, no, well let me tell you. And they're not going to listen. Their ears are going to be shut because all they hear is an attack. So they're going, oh, I gotta attack you. And that literally makes me want to pick up a joint and just be like, what? Who are you? What's your name? Why do I even like you? Because I'm high. Like, that's what it makes me want to do. It makes me want to get high and just be like, you look funny when you talk. Because you can't argue with stupidity. And intellectual people love to use that. You can't argue with stupidity, but they don't understand that stupidity comes in many different forms. It really does. It comes in many, many, many different forms. Everybody has narrowed things down, they think, and they think they got it all figured out. And I'm just sitting around being my little idiot self because I know I ain't got it all figured out. I try to at times, and that's when I get really depressed and really anxious. But then I decide not to. I wake up and I say, nah, not my place to worry about it. Give it to God. And like I said before, if you don't believe in God, then give it to whoever you do believe in. It's not your place to understand it all. And that is the biggest thing that has led to some people wanting to gossip, is because they want to understand, they want to know. They see that you have something good, and instead of saying, hey, can you help me and offer me that something good? And then you go, okay, I'll offer you my something good. Can you offer me your something good? And us work together as a team and share equally. No. Instead it's like, hey, I see them over there doing something good, and I want to know why and how. And they got to teach me. But I got to figure out how to get them to teach me or give it to me or help me without me having to do anything. Because, man, I want it all for myself. Jesus Christ. It's enough to make me just get up and be like, yeah, so-and-so, come pick up all my shit. Let me go buy myself a nice pair of, like pants that can handle the cold weather, a nice pair of boots, that can handle the cold weather, and a nice jacket, and just grab me a book bag and put some clothes in it and some soap and shampoo and just take off walking. Be like, fuck it. Be like, I'm gonna be homeless. But I'm not going to be homeless like other people. I'm not going to be homeless like, oh, let me go get high. You know. And that's the only thing, too, that's really bad about most places is like, oh, you're homeless, so that means you're a druggie. And so somebody will see you, you know, and you're homeless, and so you fall asleep somewhere in the middle of the night, and, you know, you finally find a place to rest your head, and people want to come and, you know, be like, hey, you want some drugs? It's like, no, I don't want no drugs. Make jobs. Oh, my God. What I would give to be able to, like, pack up, you know, and take my kid with me. Holy shit. Let me go get my GED, okay? Even though I passed all parts of my high school graduation test, but I dropped out and I still like 2 semesters or 4 at my high school, and then I went to alternative school and it was only 2 semesters, but they're like, oh, we can't just give you 2 classes, we have to give you a full 4 classes. So I was like, okay, whatever, you know, but then I ended up dropping out of there. But let me go back to school and get my GED. I will teach my kid. I'll pay the phone bill. I'll teach her. She'll be homeschooled. But she won't be homeschooled because she won't have a home. And she won't have a home. She won't have a roof over her head. But let me go out and be able to get jobs as quickly as I need to. Okay? Let me go up to people in a store and be like, hey, you need some help today? And me put in a good day's work or a good week's work and me get paid for it. And then them not expect for me to be there for 5 years or forever or whatever. It's just when I'm there and when I show up and when I do the work, that's when I'm their worker and that's what I'm going to get paid for. So I show up for a week. And then it's like, okay, you know, I showed up for a week. You know, my kid's in the motel room or hotel room, you know. Like, let me make enough money. Let the economy draw back in that way to a degree. Back to, like, where you can do shit like that. Like, I wish to God it was like that. I would love it if it was like that. I ain't gonna lie. Let me sleep in my car with my kid if I want to. If I've got gas in the son of a bitch and I want to run it all fucking night so that way the heater's on and our seats lay back, you know, and we can sleep like that, and it ain't no damn problem, or better yet, let me get a damn van and put a fucking mattress in the back of the damn thing. There's our bed. Wake up every morning. So, are we staying here the rest of this week, or are we going to travel and go someplace else? Oh, I always wondered what the Grand Canyon looked like. Okay, well, let's go see it, baby. Oh, Mommy, you're teaching me about the Grand Canyon this week. You know what? Yeah, I am, and we're going to go see it right now. We are? Yeah. Let me finish working this job for another week or 2. That way I got enough gas money to get us there. I wish to God life was like that. Oh, my God, dude. But no, it hasn't worked like that. Instead, here I am, 30 years old. The laws, the government, the whatever, has allowed my daughter to be taken from me under the circumstances. I have to work like everybody else does. We all fall into this little ding, ding, ding line of what we're supposed to. Oh, I gotta work a regular job and keep it work 35 hours so that way I can even survive. Can't live out of a car, that's illegal. Can't live out of a tent, that's illegal. Can't live on these abandoned, if you will, pieces of fucking property and land that are just sitting there. Oh, that's illegal. You gotta pay the government. You gotta pay thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars just so you can live on this piece of property. Then you gotta pay property taxes every year. how the government even looks at things and thinks that we are going in a better direction is beyond my comprehension. Like, I don't speak that stupid. I don't understand that level of ignorance. Sorry. You can call me stupid for it. I don't give a shit. I don't give a shit. People don't like me. Ain't nothing new. I would love to pull up somewhere, because granted, one of my dogs is missing and it breaks my heart. And as a matter of fact, like Facebook, it does the end of year thing, and one of the photos that it was all three of my dogs asleep on the couch, and I about cried. But I love my doggies. You smell like Cheetos. Why do you smell like Cheetos? Why do you smell like Cheetos? You literally smell like Cheetos. Okay. Okay, let me finish. I only got a few minutes left. Girls, get down. Lay down. Lay down. Lay. 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 Lay down. Lay down. Lay down. Lay down. Lay down. There. There. Alright. Got one laying down. But anyways. What was I saying? Hell, I can't even think now. Got so sidetracked. Yeah. Oh, my dogs. I would love that as long as my dogs have their rabies shot, have a collar on, that I could pull up to, some place where there's just like a bunch of damn land and it's obvious it don't belong to anybody, like there's nobody there, it's like a field. You get what I'm saying? And it's just a field. And me to just be able to let my dogs out and let them run and then spend the day playing with them out in the field. I don't own the field. Nobody owns the field, or if anybody does, it's the damn government, because nobody's been able to pay for it or whatever. And that just be how me and my kid would spend one afternoon. And I know I'm not the only one that has these, dreams of, these movie type shitting ass things playing in your head, and you're just like, damn, why can't that happen? And then you see why it can't happen. And everybody wants to be like, oh, it can't happen because it doesn't actually exist. It can't happen because it can't actually exist. That's your opinion. And I'm entitled to mine too. And mine says that it can exist, but people are just so shitty they don't care for it to. Yeah. People don't care, do they? God, love it. Oh, I need a big butt. Oh, and the mommy. Excuse me. Oni, you got that crooked ear going. Crooked ear. Please sit down. Thank you. Lay down. There. There. Okay. No. No. Really. Okay, go for a minute. Get. But anyways, I'm in a lot better mood today. Like I said, I read that thing about emotional bullying, and I also read a thing, I don't know what the article or who it was or anything like that, and then I said I'm not gonna sit there and really label things and stuff because of the backlash I feel that it creates or what the hell ever. But it was an article on suicide and why Catholic churches, they're not against, or some of them are not against, well, if they want to commit suicide, let them commit suicide. That's that's their thing to do. Okay, well, if you're going to give that type of freedom, Catholic Church, then if people want to be gay, then why the hell can't you jump off that damn bandwagon? Because I know quite a few people that are like, oh, you can't. Oh, you're suicidal? Well, if you feel drawn to do God's purpose of killing yourself, and that's what you feel God's telling you to do because you're so depressed and you're such a burden, and you feel that you are and everything, go ahead and do it, And it was just like, okay, okay. But it's like, okay, if you believe that, you can't half-ass it. You can't half-ass put those beliefs. Like, what type of hypocrisy? To be like, oh, but you have to, and that is the whole thing of this whole world that we all do, myself included. I'm a hypocrite at times. I try not to be, because I try to be flexible. I try to not say that. That's the reason I'm like, well, I guess I'm spiritual. Well, I guess I'm pansexual. The only thing that I am set in is that I believe in God. That's the only thing that I'm like fundamentally hardwired to. At the end of the day, is I believe in God, I believe in Jesus Christ, and I believe I'm a female, and my daughter is, and my dogs are, and my cats are male, and stuff like that. I believe people that are born intersex are born intersex, I mean, but basic stuff, I believe the grass is the grass, and a building's a building, and, trees are trees, and the sky is the sky, and... But I'm not even set fully on that, because sometimes I sit here and I'm like, I wonder if God, even though God created man and man created words, I wonder if God looks down at us and he's like, you moron, He's like, that's not a tree, Like that's, I don't know, something else. He calls it something else. You get what I'm saying? And he's like, my poor little moron people, Like they're so stupid. They don't really know what it is. Never know. But I'm going to end this video here. Yeah. And obviously I'm having, like I said, a better day. And so that's the reason, if you are going through suicidal thoughts and everything, or depression or anything, I beg of you, hold on. Don't do it. I mean, if you believe you're supposed to and everything, if the urge overcomes you, and so on and so forth, and that's another thing too, that the guy was talking about in the TED Talk video. He was like, people that have survived tell that they automatically regret the decision once they've done made it. The ones that have survived. And that's like me, when I hung myself after my friend hung himself and committed suicide. I tried to get myself back down, and I couldn't. And so I blacked out, and right before I blacked out, I was like, God forgive me. And then, I don't know how much longer after, but I ended up falling, the thing snapped, and I ended up hitting the ground. And so, with that being said and everything, it's like, I guess it is true that you regret it. I mean, I can't vouch for it 100%. And I know that when I tried to shoot myself almost 6 years ago, that I regretted it when I seen my kid. So regret, yeah, And so it's like, what do you want to regret? Do you want to regret that you gave up and that you committed suicide? Like, a scar is a scar whether you put it there or not. But if you have the opportunity to put it there or not, wouldn't you rather not? But I'm going to end it here. Like I said, if you're suicidal or something like that, or, dealing with anxiety or depression, just hold on. stay as positive as you can. Believe things are going to get better. I know it seems hard. And I know you're like, shit. I know that attitude. Yeah, right. It ain't going to get better. Shut up. I know. I'm there. Hell, I'm still there sometimes. People be like, be happy. I'm like, fuck you. you know? But, I mean, you gotta keep trying. You're worth it. You're beautiful. You're handsome. You're sweet. You're kind. You have goodness inside of you. You have a good heart. You are forgivable. Everything that you've ever done wrong is forgivable. Maybe not by human. Maybe not by the human you did it to. But it's forgivable. From the universe, from God, however you want to see it, it's forgivable. Ask for forgiveness from the universe, from God, whatever you believe in, from yourself. Forgive yourself. Move on. Do better. Learn to do better. Read articles that are going to help you. Search out the information. Don't expect for the information to fall in your lap. Seek it. Seek and you shall find. Seek that information out. Have a bad relationship with somebody? Look up how to fix it. Take the Myers-Briggs personality test. Figure out what their personality is. Figure out what your personality is. Look up how y'all need to get along. How y'all need to communicate. I wish to God my daughter was home right now, or at least talking to me, and that she would be willing to take it. So that way I could figure out how to communicate better with her. But she's not even talking to me. But just keep trying. I'll catch you later.